Hi everyone, Alchemist here. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for your subscriptions, for your likes, and your comments. It truly means a lot to me. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your support on this quest. I'm Seth. I'm an alchemist, an occultist, a mage, and a practitioner. And if you want your own smoke scrying private reading, you can find it at sifalchemist.com, link in the description box below. Today is a smoke scrying reading. It's going to be a collective reading, so not everything might resonate, but I'm going to use this fresh brand new stick to channel the message for you. So let's see what spirit has for you while I see the fire and the smoke. Let's get right to it. Ruhmin set urras imakal serich. Ooh, all right. It's even making a noise. You hear the noise that this stick is making? See this kind of noise? It's kind of it's like a sound. Oh, it stopped. It was making like a sound. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. You're highly connected to ancient Egypt. You have a strong, strong connection to ancient Egypt, to the era where pharaohs used to rule the world. This goes back to around 6,000 years ago. And you need to visit Egypt. You need to go there as soon as you can. Save up some money and go there on a trip. Don't go by yourself. Try to go on an educational trip with some tour or something like that. That's going to give you the information necessary for you to work with. Because if you go by yourself, Spirit is saying you're going to get lost and you're not going to waste your energy in things that don't matter. So you need to go with someone professional who will tell you what each temple was all about, what each pyramid is all about. And from that, you're going to start remembering your past life because you have a strong connection to your past life. And sometimes you need to connect to that past life in order to activate who you are in this current life reincarnation. So Spirit is saying you're one of these people who you're confused, you don't know who you are, you're still wondering about yourself, but that's going to disappear if you remember your past life in Egypt. And look how the smoke, how it's so flowy. This is incredible. It just didn't stop. I didn't even have to light it up again. And see the smoke coming from here, meaning that that's all hidden inside of you, and whatever is coming out is what you're supposed to remember from your past life. So everything is still, it's encapsulated within this stick. It's a representation of you. It's encapsulated within you, but you need to let it out, just like the smoke. It needs to come out bit by bit. The smoke needs to come out, and that's how you remember who you are. But the only way to remember that is to go to visit Egypt. And you need to visit the museums, the monuments. Spend there at least, Spirit is saying, asking you to spend there at least 10 days. Because if you go for 3 days or 4 days, it's not enough. 10 days minimum. That's what Spirit is saying. And it's not about money. This is going to be the investment that's going to be beneficial for your life. So don't worry about investing money in this and spending money in this. Don't worry about that. This money is it's meant for this trip, for you to remember this. Save up for it, even though if it's going to cost a lot of money, save up for it and just do it. Spirit is saying you go back to the era of the first pharaoh of ancient Egypt, Akhenaten. You are part of his legacy. You are one of his counselors. Wow. Because he was the first pharaoh of ancient Egypt to establish a one God religion, that there is only one God. The first monotheistic religion that ever existed was from him. He came and he told everyone, you need to worship only one God, it's the sun God, and no other God. He was the first person known to our human history to have created that. And that was very controversial and revolutionary in ancient Egypt, and everybody hated him to the point where they murdered him. And after he ruled over Egypt for 15 years and established a monotheistic worship and religion all over Egypt, and it was beautiful with his wife and queen Nefertiti. They established this amazing empire, but everybody was furious and upset, and they just hated the fact that he ordered everyone to get rid of paganism and worshiping many deities, because back then everybody, it was polytheism, and everybody worshipped different religions. So all of the VIPs of back then of ancient Egypt were furious, and they told him, how dare you get rid of our deities and our gods and our temples and say we only need to worship one thing. Him and his family were very unique. They were very different looking. Like he was, by the way, very tall. Some people were saying that he was like a giant. Some even say that he was like as tall as like 9 feet. He was so he was a descendant of the giants, the giant race that exists on the earth, and which makes him very possible to be a demigod, because demigods were giants, meaning that he was part God, real God. But history doesn't say this about him, but I'm just saying, I'm channeling this information. And his face looked also very different. He looked human, but you'll see in his statues in museums, there are depictions of him as a normal human-looking being, but his famous depiction is that he has this elongated face like this, and he looks very different. The same goes for his wife, Nefertiti, because she had this head that was very elongated. And there's even depictions of them together with their they had, I think, two sons. They had 2 kids. I don't remember if they were girls or boys. And there's depictions of the 4 of them having elongated skulls. And that's why in this, the bust of Nefertiti, in this famous bust, you can see that she's wearing this long hat that seems to be covering an elongated skull. So they were definitely just part human, not fully human, if not a sort of godlike, or some claim that they're aliens or whatnot, but I don't think they were aliens. Spirit is saying they were just, whoa, that is incredible, the explosions. Spirit is saying maybe they were aliens. Because I said maybe because when I said maybe they're not, the explosion happened, maybe they were aliens. Well, Earth has been visited and inhabited by many beings, and this is something that humans are finally kind of opening up to. They're like, oh, we're not the only thing in existence. Wow, so we're not really that special, because humans always think that they're so special, that they're so advanced, that they're the most advanced things that ever existed. Wow, they think that they're the ultimate gods, But finally, these days, humans, in this day and age, humans are finally opening up to the idea that maybe we're not alone. Maybe even scientists are finally opening up to this idea. Can you imagine a scientist claiming that we're not alone? The amount of work you have to do on your ego to bring it down so it doesn't. But anyway, maybe they were aliens. Maybe they were from some other dimension or some other realm. But my guidance is telling me that they were part god, they were half human, they were mixed. That's why they looked very different from the rest of humans. But you need to learn about this. You need to learn about the rule of Akhenaten, of what he did, what he has accomplished, because you were part of that. You were one of his councils, and you were actually one of the few who agreed with his ideals, with his monotheistic religion of worshiping one God. You were one of the few ones who agreed with that. And he trusted you. He always consulted with you until the day he died, when he was murdered. And in that past life, many things happened to you that you know that has to do with the history of humanity. And you need to remember that. Spirit just wants you to remember. And the only way you can remember this knowledge and this wisdom as a consultant for the first pharaoh that humanity has ever known is to visit and to remember. And when you remember that, you're going to use that knowledge in this lifetime to activate who you are, to activate a part of you that was dormant, that was just gone in the past, that was lost. But it's time for you, Spirit is saying it's time for you to revive it. It's time for you to activate it, because you can benefit from it, and you will benefit from it, and others will learn from it too. Many humans on earth will learn from it as well. Beautiful reading. The smoke was just like going on nonstop. You need to learn from this past life. You need to learn from it. And Spirit is asking me to stop here. This is what I have for you. Thank you very much. I hope this reading resonates. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next reading. Shosmich Irren Shon Sakerech.